When you do a massive stretch in the penitentiary, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, this turns you into a beast mentally, but it causes you to become institutionalized. You have quirks, traits, and habits that normal society, everyone out here on the streets, thinks is crazy. I mean, my boy Little John, when I first fell at Sentinella, I walked up to him and he had rips all through his shorts and his clothes. I'm like, hey, dude, do you need me to get your new pair of shorts, fool? Like, why are those things so ripped up? And he just was like, dude, these shorts have done more time than you. I didn't understand at that point how institutionalized you become to where you're just keeping like 2 shirts, 2 shorts, 2 pairs of blues in rotation and washing them. And like, you don't even want to pull out some new clothes because you're like saving that for some future time. This is how you end up in the pen. Like, this is how it is almost mentally debilitating because you're always living in future projection. You're never living in the current moment. You're always living in a state of mental projection towards the future when you get out. So everything you're doing today is for the future that you're trying to anticipate when you get out, which is great when you're goal-oriented. So when you're a goal-oriented individual like myself, being able to take your feeling out of your daily tasks, your daily routine, to be able to remove yourself, stand back in almost a voyeuristic way and watch yourself just walking through life in the manner which is creating the future you desire. This is the optimal state for creation of your future, but it is not the optimal state for family, for friends, for real life, for love, for living in the moment of inner peace. This is not the optimal state for that. So constantly fighting that, battling that, and juggling between the two is something that you have to bring to your you have to bring that to your conscience. When the subconscious is made conscious, now you can do both these at once. This is how we're able to simultaneously juggle many variables and kill it at life, is to know that we don't have to be one way or the other. We're using 5% of our brains, something like that, whatever. But we need to fucking stand back and say, no, I can do both these. I'm gonna. So during our goals, during our tasks, living from a bird's eye view, taking our feelings out of it and moving towards our goals like a straight up robot, never questioning, never debating, everything just a straight up non-negotiable task. This is how we move towards our goals. But when we get around our family and everyone, it's hard to shut the switch off, but we don't use the word hard. So we just shut the switch off. We go straight to living in the moment with our family, our friends, and enjoy it. It's been difficult for me, yes, but everything that's been good for me in my life was difficult. So other traits, I mean, these dudes will eat the same meal every day. The straight up cook, the dude who they make movies after or shows after like Breaking Bad, Greg Girard from Shasta. Everybody knows this cat. This is the cat. This is the cook. He would eat 2 meals a day. He would have a chili top ramen with half a bag of instant beans and a half a summer sausage. That's what he would eat every day for 15 to 20 years. Can you do that? People always ask me, they're like, damn, how did you do 10 years? I'm like, this is the point. This is how you get good at shit. You do 10 years. I don't care what it is. If you do 10 years at it, you'll be the best. The point is people can't even do 10 years out here. They definitely can't do it in there. I'll do another 10 out here just like I did it in there. And this is what's going to propel you to the levels you need to be at. The sacrifice, the discipline, the unwavering, just relentless action towards your goals. This is what's going to do it. That comfort, everything like that is what's going to just deter you from everything you really want in life. Except when you're with the family. Except when it's a moment of pleasure, which should be sparingly so that you really enjoy it. It'll compound exponentially if it is sparingly. If you're always chasing pleasurable acts in a perpetual manner, the greatest pleasures of life will cease to even exist to you. They won't have any effect. That's why motherfuckers who live certain pleasurable lives, nothing suffices them anymore. They just keep chasing more and more pleasure till they destruct. But the main thing is every little step we're taking through the day, our actions, our thoughts, every tiny decision is creating who we are. From the second we have the first thought pop into our brain. I've read books from occultists like Rudolf Steiner, which is crazy because he has a swastika on the front of his book. But one of his famous quotes is, fear of a thing prevents us from seeing it properly. And racial prejudice prevents us from seeing into the human soul. These are all connected. If we don't believe we have a soul, if we don't believe there's a higher purpose, how can we aspire to have a higher purpose? So the first thing is belief. And always, not judging a book by its cover, this book had a swastika on it. But yet, the man was so against racial prejudice, he called it just straight fear-based and the epitome of weak. Always know that you're creating weaknesses and strengths with your habits. But you have to be aware of these to be able to negate them in different ways at different times and placate just the character and demeanor you wish to have to create the optimal life. I have crazy, weird characteristics that I picked up in the pen. Like I'll sleep on a twin bed with all my clothes stacked along the edge of it on like a 1 foot space. And I mean, on top of that, while I was in the pen, I had the same cup, a tumbler that we get from Canteen. I had that same cup and that same spoon for 7 years. Like long view is everything. And if you're consistently getting bored with your workout program, if you're consistently getting bored with your job, bored with your people, that's you. You're boring. You're not able to step back and look at it for what it is, taking pride in your consistency to work through what is boring, what is not enjoyable. Because the only thing, the common denominator of successful people on this planet are the people that get up every day and do shit that they don't want to fucking do that is for the greater good of their future. It's daily habits that create the future they desire. Choosing to work for purpose. This is it. The second we do that perpetual pleasure-based nonsense, we end up weak as fuck. And that's what's happening out here. So don't fuck up that wake-up time. I've been on that same 2:45 wake-up time for the last 10 years, the last decade. This is one of the things I equate all my strength to because every morning I don't want to get up. But I don't let that thought materialize in my head. I just let the thought materialize of that I'm a fucking savage and I won't break it down. Imagine if you started every morning with the fact that in your head, you're a savage and you won't break it down and you know you've stuck to this for 10 years. That just creates a self-talk that is unbreakable. If we're unbreakable, any goal is possible. So you're creating your strengths and your weaknesses through your thoughts and your actions. You're personally disciplining yourself. People want discipline, but they want to read about it. How are you going to gain discipline from something you enjoy? I enjoy reading. So reading never gave me discipline. It gave me insight. But you cannot learn about life through study. It can only be acquired through living, through experience. This is another Steiner quote. And the thing is that all the best people that I did time around, they ran a solid, non-negotiable program and took pride in it. If you're a construction worker, take pride in it. It doesn't matter about the money. If you work for some sort of service, the government, anything, take pride in it. If you're in the penitentiary, take pride in it. Not everybody's in there for being a piece of shit, okay? There's solid-ass people in there who are sticking up for their family or trying to support them and just made the bad mistakes. So, in all reality, don't pass judgment. Understand where someone's at in their life and always be the solid example. Never give advice that you're not living through and never try to give advice to people who you don't have results in the area that you're giving them advice on. This is one of the biggest problems out here. Not personifying the teaching. People not personifying the teaching. Trying to give advice. Motherfucker, you're not even in the goddamn game. How the fuck you gonna be on the stands telling that motherfucking quarterback how to throw the ball? Get in the motherfucking game. It's bullshit. I want everything the best for everybody, so I pass on what worked for me. Exactly what worked. This is what we all should aspire to do. We should all pass on what worked for us. And what does that do? It causes us to reflect and say, is this really working for me? When I got out, plenty of people told me, hey, Wes, get this job, do that, do this. And I stood back and I said, I don't want your life. So why would I follow the path you're trying to supply me? Don't ever take advice from someone who hasn't been there or who isn't currently there. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Show them how to fucking do it. And how do you do it? It's the genius equation. It's the expert equation. It's 40,000 man hours. If you put 40,000 man hours of your heart into anything, you'll slaughter it. You'll be the top of the game. You'll just look around and you'll just realize that you surpassed everyone. It's basically preparation meeting opportunity. Prepare forever. When your opportunity shows its face, you'll crack it. You'll smash that shit. You're ready to go. Everybody wants to get the job and then learn the shit. No. Prepare the principles, and then when the job shows itself, you're ready. It's clear. You're the man for the job. You ain't cracking. You're consistent. You aspire to comprehend at a high level. This is what we do. This is what the Institutionalized did for me. Other motherfuckers cried about it. This is the problem. It all came from the self-talk and the action. The self-talk and the action created the mindset which was able to thrive in any situation. So I know people are going through things out here. And I know they can overtake them with the same mindset that I'm shooting to you guys this way. Strength is in repetition. When you tell yourself you're bored of repetition, just tell yourself you're bored of success.